sports fans, and welcome back to Inside the Eagles Nest. As always, I'm Justin Hall, along with my co-pilot here, Kevin Tosh. Kevin, big win for Franklin County last night. Step one of the puzzle piece to get to the VHSL playoffs. Took down GW Danville, hard-fought game. You want to tell us a little bit more about it?
That's right. Big game for Franklin County. Don't have much of a voice here, but hopefully you're able to hear me and understand me. Franklin County moved to 3-0 in the Western Valley District, which really that's what's going to take is winning the Western Valley District to get that sixth and final playoff spot in the Northwest region. The top 5 spots, barring anything crazy, look to be locked in. We'll talk about that a little bit more in the second segment. But like you said, Franklin County coming away with their third straight Western Valley District win this year. I think it's their 12th or 13th, dating back over the course of the last 3 years. Like you said, Franklin County came away with the 34-20 win over GW Danville. You know, like we said, they had a really, really good game running the football. They definitely didn't have the 400-yard rushers like they did against Halifax.
Close.
That's right. They had Alex Keys led the way with 17 carries and 89 yards. Kyle Ellis, big game. I think it's his breakout game of his career so far, at least at the varsity level. He had 9 carries for 84 yards. He ran that option to perfection.
I mean, most of those yards he had came on really 2 plays there on the first scoring drive where he led the Eagles in. He willed his way in there.
That's right. And Franklin County, more importantly, converted all of its first 7 third down conversions and went 10 for 13 on third downs. That's really what they've got to do to keep these drives going. And a lot of that, like you said, you know, that was ended by a Kyle Ellis interception. He's having a little tough time getting the passing game going, but he definitely made up for it on his feet. I think he had 3 rushing touchdowns and maybe a passing touchdown.
Yep.
So that's 4 touchdowns.
That was a beautiful pass on that touchdown, too. Terrell Basham was wide open, hit him running. I mean, GW couldn't stop it.
That's right. Basham had, like we said, had 1 catch for 33 yards. Chance Tyree, 16 carries, 71 yards. Christian Witcher, 2 carries, 61 yards.
He does it again.
Every time this kid touches the ball, he's explosive. They use him in special situations when they need big games. They I think Coach Jones really watches the defense and really sees when they're really most vulnerable to hand the ball off to Christian Witcher. David McGee, 6 carries, 49 yards. Jonathan Altis, 5 carries, 18 yards. So the Franklin County running game continuing, keep the momentum up, and that's really what they need to go into this last game.
Yeah, they're keeping the opposing offense off the field as they turn up those yards, which is going to be big come next week against PH.
That's right. The time of possession battle, Franklin County held the ball 31 minutes and 25 seconds to GW Danville's 16 minutes and 35 seconds. Really the same story against Halifax. You know, Halifax only had the ball for maybe a little bit like maybe a minute and 35 seconds in the fourth quarter in that game. Franklin County, like we said, using this run attack, keep the chains moving, keep the yards going, but now they're starting to score. You know, earlier in the season, they'd get the ball moving, they would win the position battle, having a tough time getting the ball in the end zone. They had 399 yards of total offense. You know, most of that coming on the ground, 366 of it. Kyle Ellis, 1 for 3 with 1 interception for 33 yards and a touchdown to Terrell Basham. They're still having a tough time fielding punts. That's probably, you'd have to say, the Achilles heel of this Franklin County team. They're kind of losing a little bit of the field position battle there. I don't know if it's nerves, but they're making up for it in other areas of play. But like you said, Kyle Ellis, 3 touchdowns, rushing the ball, 1 through the air. Pretty much all the scoring for Franklin County outside of a Christian Witcher 56-yard touchdown run. But a really good game, really good warm-up to this PH game, Justin.
No, most definitely. I mean, it gives the boys a level of confidence. If they can beat a team the caliber of GW Danville, really the score is much closer than the game actually was. GW Danville had a shot, but you know, it was Franklin County's game to lose, and that gives them a lot of confidence going to the PH game, which is going to be a true test of what's to come.
Like you said, we hate to compare teams to older teams, but just a little tidbit from our statistician Carlton Wilkes. With the recent strong, even record-breaking rushing efforts, the Eagles have moved within sight of the all-time team record or rushing, which is 2,751 yards, set in 2003. That team went 7-4. They played 11 games. Franklin County, this year's team, only 341 yards shy here with what could be 1, but possibly more games left. Yeah. So the rushing attack really the strong point of this team. But the defense starting to come around, definitely saw some of the pores that they had in pass defense.
Yeah, and David Prince, PH, I hate to look forward to the next game, but I mean they're going to run the same plays as GW did, and running that little bubble screen, as you call it, and well, as the play is called, and those little passes over the middle where Franklin County was playing off against GW Danville. We can't do that against PH. They have the playmakers to make us pay.
That's right. As far as special teams go from the last game, Bradley Rayburn continuing to be on a tear punting the football. He had 2 punts this game for 43.5 yards. I think he's still averaging just under 40 yards a kick. With that, that's really good. That helps to flip the field position game.
I mean, that's collegiate level right there. I wish Virginia Tech wishes they had Bradley Rayburn right now with their punting woes this year. But man, that kid's he's got a boot.
That's right. As far as place kicking goes, Rayburn was 2 for 2. 2 for 3. I'm 2 for 2. I was right the first time. Richardson, he was 2 for 3. They have 2 options there. Place kicking, that's something you always want to see. Franklin County not known for their field goal kicking. They don't attempt many very often. But like you said, really good game for GW. Any more thoughts on that game, Justin?
No, it's time to look forward to PH.
That's right. 1 game left in the season. Like we said, we're going to talk about that. The Week 10 matchup between the 3-0 in the Western Valley District Franklin County Eagles and the 2-0 Patrick Henry Patriots. And we'll talk a little bit about that game when we come back.
Welcome back to Inside the Eagles Nest. Kevin, this Friday night, Franklin County travels to Roanoke to face the High-Flying Patriots. Tell the sports fans out there a little bit about Patrick Henry.
Well, usually about this time during the show, we would reveal our Western Valley District power rankings, which we'll have them up on the website, but really, you can throw those out the window now. This is pretty much a de facto Western Valley District championship game. Yep. Against the Patrick Henry Patriots. They're going to be 6-2 coming into this game. They've got 2 games left on the season, 2-0 in the Western Valley District. Their only 2 losses this season have been to a Battlefield squad, which could potentially be a state title contender, then a Mecklenburg, West Virginia, Martinsburg, West Virginia team, who, for all, they're going to be a West Virginia state title contender.
Yep.
But like you said, Franklin County has a chance to secure their 3rd straight Western Valley District title, which is something that doesn't happen a lot, especially in the Western Valley District. Usually teams have up and down years, so Franklin County has attempting here to make what many could consider starting a little dynasty here in the Western Valley District. Well, Patrick Henry has not had a lot of success against Franklin County in the past. The last 3 seasons, they've lost 40-12, 42-0, and 28-0 in the last 3 games. And the Eagles last lost to Patrick Henry in 2006, and what was a non-district battle then. But Patrick Henry, like we said, they are a team on the rise. Definitely, head coach Alan Fiddler has this team clicking on offense. So I look at my notes here. They've put up about 31, almost 32 points a game. They're only allowing 9 points a game. Just some examples. They put up 42 on Hidden Valley, 44 on Bassett, 31 on Pulaski, 49 on Blacksburg, 31 on GW Danville, and 41 on Halifax. I mean, those are unreal numbers.
High flying.
But against Battlefield, they put up 7. Against Martinsburg, West Virginia, they put up 9. But they only gave up 19 and 14 to those teams. So they haven't shown that they can win a close game, which against the Franklin County team, if Franklin County can get the ball moving, it could be a close game.
Yeah, I mean, going back to Alan Fiddler, college coach, where was he at? Glenville State up in West Virginia. I mean, he won up there. Now he's at the high school ranks. He's winning again. I mean, it's very apparent that he's a great coach, and he teaches team discipline on offense and defense, and it's showing. I mean, PH has had these athletes for years and years and years. It's just they never had the coaching, or I guess the coaching base to bring the talent out to put on the teams. And, it's showing.
That's right. Especially, we'll start with talking about the defense. Usually we talk about the offense, but giving up 9 points a game, you definitely have to look into them. We watched a little bit of their film from this past year. Their linebacker core, really good, really athletic.
Very fast.
Very fast. But as you were telling me, before we started tonight, they can over-pursue a little bit.
That's what Franklin County's got to put, especially with the veer and the misdirection. I mean, those linebackers, they only know one speed, and if that speed's fast, if they pick the wrong gap or they pick the wrong hole or they pick the wrong ball carrier, I mean, Franklin County can go the ball 50, 60 yards.
Like you said, but in the film we watched, they're really smart. They seem to be, there's been times when they've over-pursued and got burnt, so Franklin County will have to definitely watch out for that. They're really smart in the secondary. They'll give up some yards through the air, but they're going to make the tackle quick. They're not going to give up a lot of yards after the catch. The defensive front is kind of what you would expect, really athletic, get good pressure off the ends, but they're also able, even with their smaller size, to get pressure up the middle. So defensively, just really solid, really athletic, and really well coached. Going over to the offensive side of the ball, once again, going up against another good quarterback. And, he's just a junior. David Prince, number 8, 6 foot, 175. But really what makes him special, he's really fast. He's being recruited as an athlete to Virginia Tech, to UVA. They're going to use him as a wide receiver, that type deal. but he's got a lot of weapons on this offensive team.
Oh, I mean, yeah, like you were saying before, the film that you were watching us, I mean, the end arounds, the running back up the middle, him drawing up the middle, plus he can throw the ball. I mean, we went up against the Harvey Taylors that was fast and athletic, but, you know, we really didn't have to worry about him throwing the ball because his ball had a little bit of wobble to it. Now we get Brendan Motley and David Prince, and they can both put some zip on the ball.
That's right. Talking about his running back, Xavier Worley, had a big game here coming late in the season. Like we said, they run sort of a kind of a spread look most of the time to utilize their speed, get the defense spread out for Franklin County. But they also utilize a little bit of the veer look that a lot of fans are used to seeing. It's usually the play you see when Alex Keys comes in. They go across the formation. There's a handoff, but they have some trick plays coming off that. Out of the spread, they run, you know, they have the read option, but they also have a downfield passing game, which is something that you don't see, you know, a ton of in this part of the state. You know, they have Nicholas Ollie at fullback. They put him in goal line situations, running the power eye, definitely a power eye with three backs in the backfield. Tight end Matthew Wood, pass catching tight end, good job blocking. And you have Ogden, Fitzgerald, Harden, you name it, several other receivers that can catch the ball. Good offensive line. I mean, what else can you say about this this Patrick Henry team?
I mean, they're quick, they're dangerous, but you know, if our offense can keep them off the field, we don't have to worry about them that much.
That's right. Also, their special teams game, Jacob Otterman, their kicker, watch the film of him, really strong leg, just what you expect out of a really good high school kicker.
Yeah, I mean, was it Robert Anderson or Mark Berman did the whole kickers article in the Roanoke Times the other day, and you know, he was featured #1. I mean, he's a great kicker, and I mean, there's rumors of him already being offered as a recruited walk-on for UVA and Tech.
That's right. And their punter, Nick Conte, we saw him punt a couple kicks. I mean, 40, 50, 60 yards. You know,
boom,
just like Bradley Rayburn. So the field position games, this game gets close. Both teams, you would have to give equal to the special teams there. Franklin County has the ability to run it back. So, you know, we talked a little bit here about Patrick Henry. What are going to be your keys for the game for both teams this week?
Keep David Prince off the field. I mean, it goes without saying, we couldn't stop Harvey Taylor. We couldn't stop Brendan Motley. I mean, we're not going to stop David Prince either. The only way we can stop David Prince, keep him and his playmaking abilities off the field. Franklin County's got to take the ball. I mean, churn out their 400 yards of rushing the game. Keep their 30 minutes of time of possession and basically make David Prince beat you. Don't help him beat you.
As far as my keys for the game, I agree completely with that. You have to keep this Patrick Henry offense off the field, wear down their defense. But it's just a given. At some point, this Patrick Henry offense is going to be on the field. And I think what Franklin County have to do is I don't think they're going to have a great deal of trouble stopping the run for Patrick Henry. You know, there's going to be big games, but I don't think we're going to see, you know, consistent running by Patrick Henry because the Franklin County defense is really good stopping the run. Mm-hmm. But they're going to have to stop this passing ability.
And, yeah, that's something Franklin County has proven we cannot do.
That's right. Really, a lot of times we were talking about the screens and that type of play that PH runs. That's just an extension of their running game, really. Mm-hmm. You know, they're getting blockers downfield. They also, Franklin County has to be aware that just because they line up in a spread and they send all four receivers on rocket or streak routes down the sideline, that doesn't mean it's a passing play. You know, we saw a lot of times David Prince will pull the ball down, and that's just a design quarterback draw. But Franklin County needs to be aware on pass defense. They also need to watch, a lot of times they'll run the streak up the middle, but then they'll do a cutback. You know, they'll cut back towards the ball, and if Franklin County is just running with them up the field, it's going to be easy 10, 12, 15 yards a catch. So Franklin County has to stop this Patrick Henry passing attack. They weren't able to do that against GW, but they really shut down the GW running attack. So I think stopping the passing, keeping the ball, and I think that's going to be the key to the game. But like we said, this is for a playoff spot. I don't think either one of these teams is going to be able to get in if they lose this game. So it's just going to be really tough. Just to go through, #1 in the Northwest region, C.D. Hilton. #2, Battlefield. #3, Garfield. #4, Osborne. #5, Colonial Ford. Sitting right now, #6, Franklin County. And #7, PH. So really, whoever comes out with this win is really going to go to the Northwest region playoffs.
Yep. Got a matchup waiting for Garfield. Unless Garfield blunders the last couple weeks of the season and Colonial Forge or Osborne can take those places, which I really do not want to go to Osborne or Colonial Forge again. Haven't had much success there, I guess with the exception of Colonial Forge, but long drives.
That's right. But like we said, This is pretty much a de facto Western Valley District title game. All the Franklin County fans that can make it, go out to Patrick Henry this Friday night. I believe it's a 7 o'clock kickoff like every other game. Show your Eagle pride and try to will them on to victory. I think it's going to be a really good game. It's one of those games that could really, it's either going to be a close game, which I think will really benefit Franklin County, or the way these two teams' offenses, it could be a blowout one way or the other, just as easy.
I mean, if they can't stop us and we can't stop them, I mean, then it's still going to be a close game, and whoever gets the ball last wins. But make sure you do get there early. I mean, wear your red, bring your cowbells. I mean, come out and cheer on the Eagles. They deserve it.
That's right, and I think that's all the time we have for now. Don't forget Justin Hall 04 for game updates. He'll try to do it while he's running the camera there. It can get kind of a little hectic at sometimes. Yeah. But like we said, go out, and if you're a Patrick Henry fan, definitely come out to the game, because I think the atmosphere is going to be really crazy here, because not a lot of times do you get to play what's considered a district championship game in football.
Yeah, I mean, I work in Roanoke, and I work in the city of Roanoke, and I know William Fleming fans that are planning on attending. I know a lot of Patrick Henry fans that are planning on attending, so it should be a packed house.
Yeah, and don't forget to check back next week. We'll handicap and we'll tell you who won this game, and then possibly could be looking forward to a playoff game, or we could just be ending up recapping the season. We'll have to see. It's going to be a really good game at Patrick Henry this Friday night. Franklin County 3-0 in the district going up against Patrick Henry 2-0. That's all the time we have for tonight.